Chapter 1. The Discovery of Power. Last night in our neighborhood the power went out. Only for a few minutes, mind you. Not enough to wake us from sleep, though the fan in the bedroom window must have coasted to a halt before resuming its cooling and soothing whir. Just enough to disrupt our digital clocks. When I got up this morning, 3 of them were blinking in confusion, and unsettled the family computer, which was dark and silent until I restarted it. Just enough to remind us that flowing through our home, our neighborhood, our town, and our nation is a current of power that almost never fails us. Almost every morning the clock knows what time it is. The computer has completed its overnight backups. The milk in the refrigerator is cold, and the water in the shower is hot. I live surrounded by power. It very nearly killed me. The summer after we moved into our current house, I started noticing a strange popping sound when I opened and closed the garage door. Somehow, for several weeks, I failed to connect that sound to a problem we were having with our air conditioner. Its circuit breaker was tripping at odd moments. We would go to the garage, reset the circuit breaker, and the air conditioning would work again. One more gift of power, effortless comfort on hot summer days. One morning I had put my bike in the garage after a good long ride. Closing the garage door, I heard the abrupt pop again. This time I also noticed, barely out of the corner of my eye, a flash of light. I opened the door again. I heard another pop and saw a searing bright arc of light illuminating the garage. There is only one thing that makes light that bright: high-voltage electricity jumping a gap from somewhere it should be to somewhere it shouldn't. I jumped back in alarm, then gingerly crept under the half-opened door into the garage to investigate. Our garage door, like most, was mounted on tracks and countersprung with heavy coils of wire on each side that made it possible to raise and lower it easily. Some quick-working electrician, who had installed the air conditioning unit just outside the garage shortly before we moved in, had run the wire from the circuit breaker to the compressor right past one of those heavy metal springs. This was, shall we say, not exactly according to code. Over several months, the travel of the spring back and forth had gradually rubbed off the insulation. Every successive opening or closing of the door dug deeper. Bare copper was waiting to make contact, and when it did, the resulting arc of electricity was tripping the circuit breaker, making that popping sound and flash of light, and coming within moments and millimeters of finding its path to the ground through my hand on the door. There is no good reason, other than sheer luck, that I was never on the receiving end of 4,800 watts of power at the end of one of my morning bike rides. The frayed cable is long since fixed, rerouted away from the door and protected by shielded conduit, by an electrician who swore under his breath when he saw the original job. I still open that door a bit gingerly. I live surrounded by power. Making something of the world. Like the electric current that runs, with the rarest of interruptions, through my home, power is a fundamental feature of life. And as with electricity, those who have the most unfettered access to power are the ones who are likely to think about it the least, unless and until it suddenly disappears or violently appears. But that does not make it less important or dangerous or valuable. For power is all those things. It courses through our lives. When it is rightly used, it makes possible most of what makes us truly human. When it is misused, it puts all of us at tremendous risk. Like Narnia's Aslan, it is never safe, even when it is good. Unlike Aslan, it is not always good. What then is power? May I begin with a deceptively simple definition. Power is the ability to make something of the world. Here I am borrowing unabashedly, just as I did in an earlier book, from the journalist Ken Myers, whose simple and profound definition of culture will serve us so well. Culture is what human beings make of the world in both senses, the stuff we make from the raw material of nature, but also the meaning we make. This is our basic task, preoccupation, and quest: to make something of a world that comes with no ready explanation, yet has seemed to nearly every human being to throb with meaning. Power is simply, and not so simply, the ability to participate in that stuff-making, sense-making process that is the most distinctive thing that human beings do.